story, so it looked like former NFL coach Jon Gruden wants Kevin Stefanski's job, and he wants Shedeur Sanders to be his starting quarterback. Former NFL coach Jon Gruden. Well, Jon Gruden went on record and said that he would like to coach in New York or Cleveland. Now, we know New York coaches up out of there. Now, there's another coach that is in the hot seat more than any other coach in the entire National Football League, and that is Cleveland's own Kevin Stefanski.
How wild would it be if a former coach was secretly plotting to flip the entire football world upside down? Because that's exactly what this latest twist feels like: calculated, sneaky, and almost too insane to believe. There's a hidden motive here, one nobody's saying out loud yet. But once the truth starts leaking out, the whole situation goes from suspicious to downright explosive. Stick around, because when this story cracks open, it's going to shake the league in ways no one's ready for.
How interested would Jon be in the head coaching job for the Giants?
I think he'd be very interested. He loves football. He loves Jackson Dart. If you have a young quarterback as talented like Jackson, you want a guy like Jon that's going to challenge him every day. Does he have some stuff in his background? Maybe he does. But if you want a guy that gets the most out of your quarterback, the most out of your team, then I believe Jon Gruden would be a good fit. Does he want to do it? I have no idea. Now, I know he loves football. He loves a coach. If given the opportunity, if he's lucky enough to get one, he would really think about it.
Imagine a retired coach rolling out of bed, rubbing his eyes, looking at the NFL chaos and thinking, you know what, I am bored, let me go shake Cleveland like a snow globe. Because apparently that is exactly the vibe right now. This man went from playing golf in peace to showing up like, yeah, I will take that job, don't care who is sitting in it. And suddenly the Browns are acting like someone unplugged their controller while Shedeur Sanders is just standing there waiting for someone to notice he exists.
Now, Kevin Stefanski is vowing to all of Cleveland Dog Pound Nation that he will not be playing Shedeur Sanders. He will remain keeping Dillon Gabriel as the starting quarterback. Now, we all know people from land to land, coast to coast, is pissed off with this news, bro, because he wrapped up a press conference today, and he stated once again he will not be playing Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's pull up this Jon Gruden post, man. So this is the post right here that is making headlines. That is former NFL coach Jon Gruden said, I could turn that thing around, that entire franchise around with Shedeur Sanders.
Somehow, someway, Jon Gruden's name has re-entered the football bloodstream like someone microwaved leftovers from 2018 and said, yeah, this is still good, serve it. And the moment his name hits oxygen, it comes with the boldest, strangest plot twist imaginable. He wants Kevin Stefanski's job so he can coach Shedeur Sanders. Yes, Shedeur. The quarterback who hasn't even stepped inside the building in Cleveland but is already being hailed like the city's last Avengers-level hope. Cleveland doesn't do normal, it never has. It's always dramedy.
Can he keep his job without playing Shedeur Sanders this year?
He's not playing Shedeur Sanders because he's keeping his job. We asking the wrong question. He's not playing Shedeur Sanders is because his job is safe. The only way you can get away with handling this quarterback situation as egregiously as he's handling the quarterback situation, continuing to play Dillon Gabriel, even though the offense has no spark, even though you're losing to the Jets and Justin Fields, even though Dillon Gabriel is airmailing now screens, is because you know you're safe. To me.
And now we've got Jon Gruden lurking around the situation like it's Black Friday and he's trying to beat the crowd to the last discounted toaster. And the best part? The man didn't say, maybe I'll test the waters, or I'd be open to consulting, or even the polite, hey guys, remember me? Nope. He reportedly let it slip that he'd like to coach again in either New York or Cleveland, and honestly, the math ain't mattaying, but it is hilarious. Because Kevin Stefanski is currently sitting in the hottest hot seat since chairs were invented. The man can't move an inch without Cleveland fans breathing down his neck like they're trying to fog up his visor. He benched Shedeur before Shedeur even existed on the roster. He doubled down on Dillon Gabriel like he was a guy losing hands at a blackjack table but insisting, no, I've got a system. He looked an entire city of desperate, emotionally unstable diehards dead in the eyes and basically declared, I'm not playing Shedeur Sanders. Ever. I'm staying with Dillon. Forever. Meanwhile, the whole Cleveland fan base is outside throwing full-blown cinematic tantrums like, you will play him. You must play him. Bring him forth, Kevin. Bring us the chosen one.
I don't think that's not my place, to answer to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control. So I'm not even going to think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, it's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is, it is. But it doesn't make me feel down, or it doesn't make me feel left out or anything, because I know who I am as a person, I know who I am as an individual, and I know what I could bring to this team.
But what does Stefanski do? He strolls into a press conference like absolutely nothing is burning around him and calmly repeats the same script. He will not be playing Shedeur, and he will be sticking with Dillon Gabriel as the starting quarterback. The audacity, the confidence, the sheer refusal, it's like the man is daring the universe to fire him. And that's when everything truly blew up. The moment that press conference ended, Cleveland media didn't just react, they combusted. Studios turned into live, on-air breakdown zones, with analysts pointing fingers, slapping desks, throwing their arms around, and speaking from the deepest spiritual trenches of frustration. One analyst even went full Shakespeare, ranting about situational awareness, sack-taking sins, and game-ending catastrophes, all while trying not to burst out laughing at the absurdity of it all. Yet somehow, the funniest part wasn't the yelling, it was the one brave soul trying to defend Dillon Gabriel like he was an endangered species, insisting, he's only a third-round rookie, and he's only played 5 games, as if those 5 games weren't a slideshow of questionable decisions and split-second disasters. They even called him unlucky, which in this case apparently means taking sacks faster than you can say field goal unit scramble.
Losing this game and kind of now being behind the 8 ball. I mean, do you stick with Dillon Gabriel after this game, or do you think about making a change?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Dillon. Obviously, this is a young players that you're always trying to get one game better and those type of things, but we have to play better as an offense. We have to coach better, all the above.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
Imagine defending a quarterback with the phrase, he was lucky to get that kick off. Lucky. As in miracle of God lucky. As in the kicker literally sprinting onto the field like an Olympic relay anchor just to beat the clock by half a second. At that point, everyone in the argument sounded like they'd been awake for 36 hours, surviving on nothing but caffeine and heartbreak. And through all this chaos, here comes Jon Gruden, not walking, not jogging, but popping into the conversation like a surprise cameo nobody requested yet somehow everyone can't stop talking about. Cleveland is basically a shopping cart with one broken wheel, wobbling through a grocery store at 2 a.m., and Gruden looks like the only man in America convinced he can push it straight. The comments section reacted instantly, some praising him, some roasting him, some saying things we can't repeat for the sake of humanity's stability. But it didn't matter, the spark had already hit the gasoline. Suddenly, people are imagining Jon Gruden riding into Cleveland with a playbook under one arm and Shedeur Sanders under the other like he's unveiling a secret football weapon. Some fans are ready to crown Shedeur the savior before he even takes a snap, others are tossing out trade rumors like Halloween candy, and the dog pound is more divided than a Thanksgiving dinner table after someone brings up politics.
If Kevin Stefanski had fear of losing his job, he would have been played Shedeur. Brian Daboll was like, you know what? I might lose my job. Here, Jackson Dart. Like, if you think you're gonna lose your job, you do move off of the Cats. So Shedeur Sanders is Kevin Stefanski's ace in the hole. The reason Stefanski's not playing Shedeur in my mind is because his job is safe. James, I look at it like this: Jimmy Haslam, Kevin Stefanski, they're on one accord. Andrew Berry, general manager, he views it differently. I think Andrew Berry, the general manager, he wants Shedeur. That's why he drafted.
Meanwhile, Stefanski is out here acting like he already knows he's done. The man is coaching like he's packing boxes in his head. Analysts even said his name is coming up for other jobs. Not head coach jobs. Not even elite coordinator jobs. We're talking side gigs. Backup options. Jobs you only apply for when you know the main gig is cooked. Someone on ESPN even said, I think he's finally unhappy. Finally? This man looks like he's been unhappy since week 2. His face on the sideline says, I'm totally pretending this is fine, while his eyes say, get me out of here. People claim he's sinking the ship on purpose. Others think he's simply done trying. And honestly? If your entire city keeps yelling at you about a quarterback you refuse to play, maybe you start thinking, you know what? If they fire me, at least I'll get a vacation out of it. But the real plot twist? Fans are now openly saying Cleveland must play Shedeur. If they lose the next game, they're basically demanding it. And after losing to the Jets, the NFL's universal Ono measuring stick, they're convinced Shedeur should have already been on the field. They're calling the Jets' loss the final straw. The last warning. The cosmic sign from the football heavens. Because the Jets are that team. If you lose to them, your franchise starts hearing spooky whispering from corners of the stadium like, play Shedeur, play him, don't test fate, play him now.
Do you miss coaching? Is that something that you want to get back into?
I miss it. I'm scratching that itch, though, right here. I would like one more chance to do it because I thought we had that team on the right trajectory. We were 3-0. We beat 3 straight playoff teams, and I thought we had a good young team. And it really crushes me to see how everybody went different directions real fast. So deep down, I'm kind of hoping someday I get a chance, but I'm definitely not counting on anything. So I've reinvented myself, man.
You've done it beautifully, that is for sure.
And yet, Stefanski still refuses. Which is why fans are getting desperate. Some are screaming, bench Dillon. Others are yelling, play 2 quarterbacks. One guy even said, trade Shedeur if you're not gonna use him, as if Cleveland just casually trades quarterbacks they haven't even committed to yet. The frustration is astronomical. But the comedy? Even bigger. Because while the entire fanbase is in meltdown mode, Jon Gruden is somewhere out there circling Cleveland like a hawk, ready to swoop in the moment the head coaching seat is officially empty. All he needs is one more loss, one more embarrassing fourth-quarter collapse, one more post-game statement from Stefanski that sounds like he's narrating his own exit. Fans are starting to chant for Shedeur like he's a prophecy. Analysts are starting to mention him like he's a solution to everything. And somehow, Jon Gruden is now the guy linked to this quarterback revolution. Imagine the headlines: Gruden arrives in Cleveland, immediately declares Shedeur the future, the present, and possibly the mayor. At this point, Cleveland media can't handle any more plot twists. They're hanging by threads thinner than the Browns' playoff hopes. Every day a new rumor drops. Every day a new meltdown hits the airwaves. Every day somebody is yelling about sacks, offensive schemes, or why the backup quarterback should be promoted like a high schooler getting bumped up to varsity.
Only one guy that has a lot of money and still wants to work, and that's my brother. He still wants to get back into coaching. I don't know why, but he still wants to get back into the grind.
Will he do that? Would he accept the job, in your opinion, like in Arkansas?
I think he would, probably. I think there's a lot of teams that could use his services. He's a great coach and a great guy, and just has a great passion for the game. And I think, given the opportunity, he would probably do it. I can't speak for him, but I would. The way, I know him pretty good. I just think he would if given the opportunity.
But nothing is crazier than watching a whole city argue about a quarterback who hasn't played it down yet, while a former NFL coach outside the organization is basically campaigning like, I will personally bring Shedeur to glory. That's not normal. That's not even semi-normal. That's Cleveland. Eventually, someone's going to have to make a decision: keep getting dragged by the football gods, or finally unleash the quarterback half the fanbase already treats like a superhero. The Browns have 7 or 8 games left, depending on how much emotional damage you're counting, and the margin for error is thinner than a preseason roster cut. If they lose the next one, the pressure becomes unbearable. The fans will demand Shedeur like he's the cure to everything wrong in the world, from bad quarterback play to slow Wi-Fi. But here's the real truth: if Cleveland keeps losing, they have no choice. Either play Shedeur, or watch the entire city implode like a soda can in a hydraulic press. And if they still refuse? Then someone is absolutely going to scream into the void, trade him then. Trade Shedeur. Don't let him sit behind Dillon another minute. That's right, to trade rumors about a player who isn't even officially starting. Only Cleveland could pull off that level of dramatic artistry.
I don't think Dillon played horribly yesterday. I just don't think he played very well either. And 5 starts in, I am mystified at how we've not seen for the supercomputer. I'm mystified how we've not seen the game slow down for him or him grow any more comfortable. He either can't see it or just doesn't see it. And I don't know what the difference is, meaning like if you can't see it because you just don't actually view the field very well versus you just don't see it because you're panicked. I guess you'd want it to be the latter thing, but I don't know. I don't know which one it is.
Meanwhile, the whispers get louder. Gruden wants the job. Gruden wants Shedeur. Gruden thinks he can fix everything. Gruden believes he's the key to turning the franchise around. And if Stefanski keeps losing, the door swings open wider and wider. This whole situation has reached maximum comedy. Maximum chaos. Maximum Cleveland. And every time someone tries to rationalize it, another bizarre twist pops up like, surprise. Here's a rumor that makes everything even more unhinged. But regardless of what happens next, whether Stefanski fights for his job, whether Dillon Gabriel suddenly becomes elite, whether Shedeur gets unleashed, whether Gruden parachutes into the city with a headset, the message from Cleveland fans is crystal clear: they're tired. And they want change. Preferably change that includes Shedeur Sanders throwing footballs like he's casting spells. And if anyone doubts how serious the city is, listen closely. Cleveland might not know who's coaching next month. They might not know who's starting next week. But one thing they absolutely know? We coming. If Cleveland had a citywide slogan right now, it wouldn't be "Believe in the Browns." It would be something closer to "Brace yourself," because every 24 hours, another twist detonates. One moment the media is arguing about sacks, the next moment the fans are demanding Shedeur like he's a mythical creature who holds the key to eternal victory. And somewhere in that tornado of emotions, confusion, and desperation, the Browns still have to play football games that actually count.
Told us that Stefanski's not mentioning Shedeur's name, and Rizzo today dropped the P-bomb. And if you watched yesterday's show, we dropped the P-bomb. We said that was the bet. Good work, guys. Good work, team.
Every time I go on the internet, all I see is a bunch of dudes sitting around going, "Why are you not playing Shedeur? And why are you about it?" Like they're playing the soundbite. He won't even say his name. He won't even say his name. What is that? What is that?
Like, everything would make more sense if you came in and really owned shit.
But the funniest part? The team acts like none of this noise exists. Stefanski looks straight into cameras with the calmness of a man who has already spiritually relocated to a beachfront resort. The players shrug like, "Look, man, this is above my pay grade." And the front office? They sit in the shadows, doing absolutely nothing while the fanbase attempts to summon Shedeur through sheer force of will like they're performing a ritual. Meanwhile, the rumors about Jon Gruden keep growing legs, arms, wings. At this point the story has a whole skeletal system. Some insiders claim Gruden already has a playbook drawn up with Shedeur Sanders' name scribbled across the top in Sharpie. Others swear he's been scouting Cleveland like he's casing a bank. And fans, being fans, take all of this and run with it like a toddler sprinting with scissors. So now, Cleveland isn't just arguing about the quarterback. Or the coach. They're arguing about the next coach who isn't even hired yet. Talking heads are debating how Gruden would use Shedeur. Analysts are pretending they magically know what a Jon Gruden, Shedeur Sanders offense would look like. And fans are imagining Shedeur walking onto the field in slow motion with dramatic orchestral music behind him while Gruden draws up plays on a clipboard like he's unlocking ancient hieroglyphics. Cleveland loves this kind of chaos. They feed on it. They thrive in it. No team delivers drama as consistently as the Browns. It's like their front office has a secret button labeled chaos mode and someone keeps leaning on it.
Old Browns quarterback wide receivers of the past were coming out to be open and he still didn't see it. Just eyes down, pulls the ball down, and tries to run for his life when there's no need to run for your life. But we're told that this is a supercomputer. This is a sad facsimile of what quarterback play should be. I am sick and tired of it. For his own good, for my health, for your sake, for your emotions, because you watch the game completely different from me. This has to end. This has to end.
But here's where things get dangerously funny. The Browns could solve all of this instantly by simply playing Shedeur Sanders. That's it. Problem solved. Pressure lifted. Fan base calmed. Rumor mill cooled. Chaos reset. But no. Instead, they insist on staying committed to Dillon Gabriel like he's part of a long-term experiment no one else understands. Every mistake he makes gets magnified by the weight of C? This is why we need Shedeur. Every sack turns into an argument. Every incomplete pass becomes a philosophical crisis. And if the Browns lose one more game? Oh, it's over. The calls for Shedeur will turn into marches. The local radio stations will start burning phone lines. Fans will show up outside practice with signs that say, "Play Shedeur or we riot." Cleveland is teetering on the edge of sports anarchy. And in the shadows of all this madness, Jon Gruden is probably somewhere smirking, knowing the moment Stefanski slips, the entire city will turn into a red carpet for his return. Because whether he actually gets the job or not, the message is clear: Cleveland wants Shedeur. The fans demand Shedeur. The drama requires Shedeur. And the city? Oh yeah,